Okay, we're back. We're going to pull up the laser software, which is represented by a little icon in your system tray down here, and it looks like this. It's a Universal Laser System Control Panel, or UCP. And when we click on that, if we did everything right back in creating a PDF and then opening the PDF and looking at it and printing it to the laser, here we are. It just magically appears when you print it to the laser. It looks like this. By the way, if you were trying to cut something out on the laser, you'd have to check right now to make sure there were red lines around it. But we're not cutting anything. We're just engraving. So anything goes really. It's going to engrave this image just fine. Now, a few things in your user control panel that you want to know about. First of all, it's unlikely that you want your cutting board positioned right up in the upper left corner of the laser, and that's where the image will be. So what we need to do is be able to move our image around. So you see what I did there? I went and picked this little cross thing here, and it says relocate view. And then I grab one of these grab handles, doesn't matter which one, and I move it around. And what we're going to be doing is positioning it in the right place on our cutting board, which I'll show you how to do in the demo. We can use something called a focus tool, which has a spotting laser on it, which allows us to figure out where this actually is inside the laser bed. So we're going to move it around until it's in exactly the right spot, or we can move the cutting board around until it's in the right spot. But we'll take some time doing that, and voila. Now, once everything's in the right spot, then what we have to do, and you'll remember from the demonstration, is one, we have to focus the laser to the surface of the material, because light needs to be focused. Again, like burning a leaf with a magnifying glass, we had to focus the magnifying glass just so it had a pinpoint of light, and that made the light intense enough to burn the leaf. It's the same with the laser. Lasers are just light beams. So if they're not focused, the energy isn't concentrated in the tiniest area, and it isn't going to work as well. So focus the laser on the surface, position the image, focus the laser, and now what's the next thing? Well, the next thing is settings. So we're going to head over here to settings. And in our settings, we're cutting wood, or sorry, engraving wood. So we're going to head over here to, well, what's wood? Wood is probably natural. And down here, if we hit these little plus signs, we can expand menus. So this menu here, we expanded and we have some options. Medium wood, hardwood. Well, if you're using eastern maple, cherry, all of these things we're using for cutting boards, hardwoods, right there. And you can even see that you got some options here. Let's try maple. It doesn't matter if you're going to be lasering across maple and cherry. It doesn't matter. The idea is we're going to get a setup in our, sorry, I forgot to describe what this is. This is a library that someone set up settings for the laser, already figured them out for these types of materials. And there won't be a lot of difference between maple and cherry. So I'll pick maple here, yay. And that's all I want. Now, when I've picked maple, it's going to basically, I'll hit apply. Oh, a thickness of the material. It doesn't matter a whole lot, but it's going to ask for it. If I put in what the material is, like what is it, 3/4 of an inch thick, 0.75 inches, it's probably not going to like that because, oh, did it do it? Hang on, oh, by the way, in this program, the habit is to push enter. When you push enter, it's like exiting. So watch out for that. I just did it. 0.75, and I'll click back on maple, and you see this apply showed up. I can hit apply. Look at the thickness exceeds maximum cut depth for selected material and current laser power. Is this okay? Um, it's thinking that we might want to cut something, and the laser can't cut through 3/4 of an inch of wood. So we'll say no, and we'll just tell it that this thing is like, I don't know, 1/8 inch thick or something like that. So 1/8 inch thick is 0.125. There we go, and it'll make it happy. So now what it's going to do, we'll hit apply. What it's gone and done in the background based on the library settings that somebody has come up for is it's changed these control settings in here. And everything that we're going to be doing is this rastering up here, this black, and it thinks the laser should be set to 100% of its power, a speed of progression of 72% of how fast it can travel, and number of pulses per inch 500. So it's going to hit the material with 500 pulses of light every inch of travel. And so if you wanted to make things darker, or deeper, you could slow the laser down. You can't really increase the power anymore. You can hit it more with PPI, but usually what we do is just slow it down a bit. So anyway, these are the manual adjustments that we could make. We could click on them. I could go in here and I could slow the laser down a bit. I don't know, so it's doing 72% of its speed right now. Let's do 50% of its speed. It's going to go quite a bit slower, and because it's going slower, it's going to burn deeper. And then you could hit set and apply, and then we would be done, right? But I'm going to take it back to the defaults. Let's go back here and go back to 72. Oh, you can use a slide bar too, but I like to just manually enter. Then I can control it better. And then we'll hit set and apply and OK. As soon as I do that, I'm ready. My laser settings are right. My focus is right. I have to turn on the, I have to make sure I'm positioned correctly. Image is in the right place. I have to turn on the air that blows around the laser. So that's important. And I have to turn on the fume extraction. So any smoke created will be dealt with. And then I just push play in the upper right corner here. Now, my button doesn't look nice and green like yours will because I'm not actually hooked to the laser right now. But if I were, all I'd be doing is turning on the dust collection, turning on the air for the laser, and hitting play, and we'd be done. All right, that concludes this tutorial, and hopefully it concludes your cutting board, except for a little bit more sanding and some nice finish. All for now.